Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Tom Hoblin.
and we just got done with Watkins Glen. Little bit of a snoozer with the Cup Series, but we will get into all that. But first, let's talk our diecast of the week. Nick, what you got for us, bud?
Uh, I don't really have anything special for this week. I mean, we're going to Daytona this week, so I guess I can bust out this car. So back in 2013, when T-Bane was full time, that was his first full time year in the Nationwide Series. I came to Daytona and he sat on the pole in this car. Number 6 Cargill Beef, number Ford. He sat on the pole for this race, and then he blew an engine like 20 laps in, and then it was all. And then I was not a happy camper after that. But as just another one in the collection. I don't think I've played this car on the show before, but I was just going through trying to find something of some significance. But this is the car. This is the pole car from Daytona. I think this is the only time he ran this car in 2013, and so yeah, interesting. Got a big old burger on the hood.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen you pull that one out.
Yeah, it was one of the first that I got in my collection. It was like $25 on eBay, so I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, good
Why
one, man.
not?
I like it. Kind of reminds me of Dale Earnhardt's kind of gold good wrench car a little bit.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet looking scheme. And then,
Hmm.
like I said, you got the burgers on the side, and you got a fucking fat old burger on the hood. Can't go wrong with that.
There you go.
Can't say I've ever had Cargill beef before, or have I seen it in like a store or anything.
No clue what that is.
Well, you're not dedicated like Dalton Good is, that's for sure. That boy will like it's a ritual for him to go to Cheddar's before every single race.
Yeah, he's probably represented by like Mark III law firm right now. So,
Yeah, probably. All right, Tom, what'd you bring for us today?
all right. I'm manifesting a W from McDonald's with an
Oh,
old Bill Elliott paint scheme. Just a Gen 4 McDonald's drive-through. But I mean, I got my Bubba stuff on. He's not even racing McDonald's this weekend, but
hmm.
I'm stretching a little bit. But it's just a Bill Elliott was also really good at these super speedways, but I had this old one in my collection from when I was a kid, another one of my toys from when I was very young. Good
Yeah,
old
man.
Bill Elliott scheme. It's got Reese's on
Hey, there
the
you
deck
go.
lid too. So nice little throwback there.
Oh yeah, I love all the old paint schemes. Those are the best, especially from the 90s. All right, so for my diecast of the week, we just had our recent winner, William Byron, and we're going to Daytona. So I had to bust out his Xfinity win from Daytona in the summer. Pretty cool. Just won his fifth race at Watkins Glen, so had to bust it out
Excellent.
from his Xfinity days over at JRN.
Excellent.
All right, guys. So, some stories that we're going to talk about. One that just came out the other day. Netflix is going to be doing a 5 episode series on the NASCAR playoffs coming up this year. Going to be released later in 2024. Um, each episode is going to be 45 minutes each. And hopefully, from what we've seen with the F1 series, it goes real deep into and just talks about a whole lot of stories. So I think this is going to be really great for NASCAR, and it's just going to make it more popular, like we've seen with the rise of F1 in the U.S.
Well, I like who's on this project. You got Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's on this project, and then they have the production crew who put out The Last Dance. They're going to be in on this too. So I expect something really good to come from this, and then it's going to be a very interesting, entertaining watch.
You got to be worried that people, because it's meant to bring in people that aren't going to be going for NASCAR races every weekend, and you worry that it's going to have that's a copycat effect of the F1 Drive to Survive, um, which it may get less marks for that. But I mean, I think it's good. The race for the championship thing they put out on USA last year was meh at best, and it wasn't marketed correctly. You had to tune in to watch it. So this is something that somebody can stream. It'll just be better. But you worry it's the novelty of having a documentary like this might have worn off by now with all of them, the tennis, the golf, the F1, the quarterback one. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. Anything, docu-series with NASCAR or anything like that, I'm always hyped up to watch because we get to see more behind the scenes stuff of our favorite drivers.
Oh yeah, and Netflix did that one that was just focused on Bubba Wallace in 2311, and it won some awards. So they know what they're doing. They know how to present
Mhm.
it. I guess they were in the room when Denny was recording his podcast this week, so they're already starting. They're already working on it. They're working hard to get it put together.
Yeah, should be exciting. So look out for that in 2024. And all right, we got some silly season shakeups. Some stuff that we've
Oof.
been hearing through the grapevine that Toyota might not be renewing their contract with 2311. So they might be looking elsewhere. And this is also affecting Denny Hamlin's contract with signing with Joe Gibbs Racing.
It's
Boys, this is insane.
eerily similar to how the Kyle Busch fans felt last year. It's like, well, why isn't this done yet? And they're saying it's a done deal, but Denny has said himself it's a completely different situation. Um, just again, he said that they have the contract for Joe Gibbs Racing in the 11 car drafted, and he can't sign it until 2311 gets their Toyota stuff out figured out, and then they can work on their JGR Alliance stuff. But all that stuff will be ready to go as long as he can get with Toyota. But the issue is that they're bringing in Legacy. Legacy's getting direct factory support. Legacy's not going to be a satellite team of Joe Gibbs. So Denny's just got to see what's out there. And he says he's been saying he's got to keep the interests of the teams and the financial future of the team forefront in mind, because that's where he's going after he's done driving. There's rumors that he talked with Ford at Michigan. So if there could be a scenario, a universe out there where Denny's driving a Ford for 2311 next year,
You
which is
imagine.
weird. It's weird. I don't think it's likely. I think he's just seeing what else is out there, what other manufacturers could offer him, so he can go back to the table with Toyota and be like, well, they're offering this, they're offering this. We need to get that stuff in there. I think Denny's just too dedicated to Joe Gibbs to dump Toyota. But again, he may be wondering if he can get direct factory support from Toyota, or if he still has to go through Joe Gibbs. So it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, gonna be a lot of factors here, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna open up a lot of things if Denny does move over there because like we were talking about before the show, that there's also a couple SHR rides that could be up for sale as well, because we've heard that Smithfield is now out
Yeah.
for next year, which means Eric Almirola is retiring. That is the only reason that guy stuck around, because he said what, last year or 2 years ago, that he was done, but he saw the money coming from Smithfield and he said, okay, a couple more years, but now they're out. So that 10 car is gone. And like we've been seeing, they might be selling that charter here.
Yeah, this is also interesting too. This is coming from Lee Spencer at Catch Fence. All these rumors and whatnot. But I guess Stuart Haas has a contract with Ford to run 4 cars. So the idea that not one but 2 charters are even for sale, they're looking to get rid of them, is very interesting. Lee Spencer is also saying that charters are going between 40 and $50 million. So is Tony Stewart trying to get out? We know Almirola's out if Smithfield's out. I mean, obviously we don't know that, but that's the rumor. And if it's true, Almirola is for sure done.
And
They're
Tony
bringing in
Stewart's
Barry.
also Tony Stewart's been focusing a lot on his NHRA team as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you haven't really seen him much on the NASCAR side of things. And plus, what we saw a couple years ago when NASCAR left Eldora, how much that pissed him off. So I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be
I wouldn't
surprised
be
if
surprised.
Tony was looking for an out, selling a couple cars, make 100 million some, and maybe it'll just be Haas Racing again, and we'll just see the 4 and 41.
It's interesting, but again, if they're selling 2, who's the second? Who do they get rid of?
Right.
Well, from what I know with Stewart Haas Racing, that 14 car is definitely Tony's, and the 41 is definitely Gene's.
So they dumped
So
Briscoe.
that's Tony's boy. And if Tony's
Mhm.
out, I don't see any reason why they would keep him just because of the lack of performance out of him. I mean, it is lack of performance out of the team because we know Briscoe is a winner, but it's not good. And I don't think that they'll keep him. I don't know if they'll keep Ryan Preece. Well, we know for sure that 4 car is going to be occupied,
Like that's
but
signed in. Barry's
yeah,
in.
yeah, that's signed in. So we really don't know the future of the 3 drivers at Stewart Haas Racing, right? Well, we do with Almirola pretty much now, but
Yeah.
Briscoe and Ryan Preece, they're hanging in limbo right now. We don't know what the hell is going to go on with these guys.
It's just wild to think Tony Stewart could even be considering leaving. And again, this is just a rumor. We don't know what's really going on, but who's looking for a charter? We know 2311's looking for a charter. Brad Keselowski has made comments saying nobody's selling, so you know that he's out there looking for another charter.
Dale's looking for a deal.
Dale wants to get in, but we know Dale didn't even want to spend $15 million on a charter, so there's nowhere he's
No,
going to spend 50.
he lost his
No way.
chance.
Yeah, no, unless Tony leaves and then makes a deal with him and Chip Ganassi to bring Chip Ganassi back, because again, we saw months and months ago when Ganassi came on there, he said he could be back in a heartbeat. So
Yeah,
but it's interesting. It's fun to speculate, but it's all it is at this point is speculation, and the silly season is getting truly silly.
That's why we
Yeah.
love it.
really is.
But
So
yeah, the other option is 2311 goes charter hunting, and Ford says, hey, come race for Ford, we'll give you factory support and we'll give you money to buy 2 charters, because we still need a team that has 4 Ford cars. Like that's not an impossible situation that
yeah,
Ford could be trying to sweeten the pot by offering them to buy 2 charters
yeah.
for
I mean,
2311.
we've
Should be
seen it.
so strange.
We've seen it before in the past. I mean, SHR, they were with Chevy since the start, and then they went to Ford in 2017, I believe it was. Same thing with Joe Gibbs Racing. They were Chevy and then moved to Toyota for supporting a new manufacturer, and that really worked out. So, yeah, who
I mean,
knows?
Joe Gibbs Racing has raced just about every manufacturer. They don't care.
Yeah. So
But
if 2311, if they need more speed from what they need right now, and they're not getting that manufacturer support straight from Toyota and they have to go through Joe Gibbs, and you get that offer from Ford, take it. Why would you just be working off someone else's scraps, you know?
but
Because
that's
it's Denny's
just
loyalty. Denny's loyalty to Gibbs.
and
Yes.
Ford hasn't been so consistent. Like, where's Penske been all year?
Right.
They won at Atlanta. That's it, right?
Yeah. Well, it kind of looks like they're moving towards different
I guess they
directions
won
with
the
RFK and front row. So
Mhm.
Penske and SHR are no longer the dominant Ford teams.
No. It's
So,
just it's crazy to think about. Yeah, and you also wonder, could Toyota really let another superstar Hall of Fame driver walk? Is Toyota really going to play such hardball to get rid of Kyle Busch, to get rid of Denny Hamlin,
I
and then
mean,
if they lose Denny Hamlin, they lose Bubba Wallace, who's one of the more popular drivers, whether positive popularity or negative popularity. Like, everybody talks about Bubba all the time. Like, they'd lose that, and it's like, what is Toyota doing, and what's their plan through all this? It's just, it seems odd.
well, I still just think, like you said with Kyle Busch, you get rid of the winningest driver in NASCAR history, you'll get rid of anyone. It doesn't matter. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, Denny is an employee. I don't think. I think he would leave in a heartbeat, and I think they would have him leave in a heartbeat if they would have something better on the line. But that's silly season for you. It gets you excited and gets you wondering with what's going to happen in the future or the next couple weeks. Who knows? This shit could just drop out of nowhere.
Yeah, this feels a lot more serious than silly season, though. Like, it feels weighted. Like, just thinking about how drastically this could change everything. Silly season is way too jovial of a term for it. Like, it's serious season now, man. Got to get these contracts signed.
Yep. Should be exciting next couple months, guys. But let's talk Watkins Glen from this past weekend. With the Xfinity Series race first, we had Ty Gibbs leading the field to green, and he just put out an ass whooping and won the first 2 stages. I mean, this kid won here last week, and now he's back to his winning ways down in the Xfinity cars. But we had a caution with 4 to go. And we had a wild restart with Ty Gibbs taking the field 4 wide, and then Ty Gibbs put Sam Mayer into the wall, which we know those two really don't like each other too much, which pretty much put a flame right under Sam's ass. And then we had a wreck with. Go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
I want to take the drivers out of this for a second. Forget that it's Ty Gibbs. Forget that it's Sam Mayer. Forget about all that. You could add, I don't know, Ryan Sieg and Kyle Weatherman up there. And if Ryan Sieg has almost an entire car length through the S's, you can't go through there too wide. He didn't do anything malicious to Sam Mayer. And then a caution came out after that. And Sam's team got on him and said, hey, which I think Sam misconstrued, because his spotter said, if I'm in the lead, I'm telling you to take that. That's not saying, hey, go whoop his ass and take him out. That's his spotter saying, like, that's racing. And like, you got to calm your guy down. You can't hype him up to go do what he did. Like, oh my God. And just take the drivers out of it for a second. You gotta keep a blind eye. I know Ty Gibbs is a polarizing character, but you have to take him out of the situation for a second. He's out there just racing for wins in really good equipment, and he had one taken away. Like if Byron's in the 17 car and gets dumped, or Bowman's up there even, for goodness sake, like, and just gets dumped on that final restart. Like, this is a completely different story, and people are singing Sam Mayer's praises for what? For overdriving a corner.
He knew what he was doing. Ty Gibbs finally got a taste of his own medicine, because we've seen this time and time again. This dude literally wrecked a teammate at Martinsville last year who was going to make the championship for. Yet I don't feel bad for him at all. Now, do I think that what Sam Mayer did was stupid? Absolutely. But I'm in the middle of both of this, because I don't give a shit that Ty Gibbs got dumped, but I think that it was stupid, a stupid move by Sam Mayer. But that's Sam Mayer for you. He showed a little bit of immaturity right there, and he still got some of that immaturity right there. But am I surprised? Absolutely not.
Yeah, this is coming. Go ahead, Tom.
We've been here in singing Sam Mayer's praises over the years, like, he's gonna get there, he's gonna get his win, and he's doing all the right things, and he's learning and always getting better and being a safe, clean driver. And I lost all that respect for him this weekend, because what are you doing? And Jeff Gluck said it, you don't come back around and celebrate winning like that if you wheel hopped and did it accidentally. You don't celebrate no, you drove in way too aggressively. Yeah, sure, you wheel hopped, but you didn't have to put yourself in that situation, and you just took him out. And if he does that by mistake, he comes out, gets out of the car, doesn't burn it down, doesn't stand on the roof and stomp and crowd surf with his crew. He gets out of the car and he's shaking his head and he's like, oh man, you hate to win that way. Like, I never wanted to win like that. That sucks. I hate it for Ty. And he showed no remorse. He said remorseful things, but he showed no remorse for what he did. And again, you take the drivers out of this, it's just stupid. Yeah, what Ty Gibbs did at Martinsville to Brandon Jones was also stupid. It was dumb. Does that mean he deserves to lose on a dominant day? No, he doesn't. Yeah, you can get taken out halfway through the race and whatnot, but on that final restart, and for you to overdrive that corner is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is, for me, I don't like either Sam Mayer or Ty Gibbs, so I just thought that this whole exchange was just hilarious. It's just two jackasses that don't like each other, that are just driving hard, and then Sam Mayer he did what he did, and he just threw it right into that 19 car. And yeah, that was dirty, but Ty Gibbs pulls that shit all the time, so I'm just happy to see Ty get a taste of his medicine. Sam was in the wrong. Yeah, he was. Both of them are always in the wrong because they're idiots, and I think that's how they're both of their careers are going to be. And if Sam does end up in the Cup Series, God, I hope not, then that's how it's going to be for the next 15, 20 years with these two.
Well, but is it though? Because you can't tell me that the driver of the 19 car on Saturday and the driver of the 54 car on Sunday are the same person whatsoever. I don't understand it.
And yeah, this is coming from a guy who doesn't really like Sam Mayer or Ty Gibbs. I just think that they're both idiots. We've known for a while, ever since they both race each other in ARCA, that they don't like each other. So I'm not surprised that Ty put him in the wall going into the bus stop.
He didn't. There's nothing there. Like that to me was not an event. That was a racing incident. That wasn't even anything. Sam was being aggressive because it was late in the race, and he stuck it somewhere where he shouldn't have fit. He didn't have to even put himself in the wall. So, like, for that to be the catalyst of this whole thing is why I think the driver of the one and the team of the one is completely in the wrong, because he didn't have to be there, and then the team fired him up for no reason when he wasn't going to gain anything there anyways by sticking his nose right there. Like, he did it to himself.
Oh yeah, well I'm not saying that the one is right. Like he's definitely in the wrong for what he did, but this also happened to a guy named Ty Gibbs, where we have seen through so many races last year, and that this guy is just a complete and utter jackass. He just doesn't care about anyone else. Like Nick said, with Brandon Jones had a shot to race for a championship, have two cars in for Joe Gibbs Racing, but Ty Gibbs was selfish enough to take out his teammate. He's done this before. I just don't like either of them. So Ty finally got a taste of his medicine, and
at least Ty can back it up with his skill. You know, like Brandon Jones is now lucky to finish top 15 in a junior motorsports car. Like,
yeah, it's very true. And he crashed out in this
Who's coming out on top? Exactly. Who's coming out on top in this whole situation? It's just like anytime somebody tries to tear down Ty Gibbs, I was like, oh, well, he's just got all this stuff because he's a Gibbs and whatnot. He won his first ever Xfinity race. He's got the last name Gibbs, but he's skilled as hell in a car. And he's getting better in the Cup Series. He's acclimating a lot better than anybody expected. And like, he knows what he's doing. He's got maybe a couple racecraft issues, a couple of PR interview answer issues.
But he gave one hell of a post-race interview. A+. I don't like the guy, but that was amazing.
All I'm saying, like, yeah, he's got the last name Gibbs, but it's to me, it's different because he can back it up. He can back it up.
Yeah, maybe we'll see that out of him in the Cup Series soon. We've seen that he's quiet in the Cup Series right now, but he doesn't have that race-winning mojo right now. And I feel like once he does, and he's just going to unleash the beast, and he's just going to be dick to everybody.
What it's going to take is I think he's putting a lot of pressure on himself on Sundays, trying not to make mistakes, trying not to piss people off. But when he comes down on Saturdays, he doesn't care. He's there for one reason and one reason only: a trophy. That's it. So I think that's why we see different guys from Saturday to Sunday, a different Ty on Saturday than we do see a Ty on Sunday. But I'm with Ian, though. Wait till he gets that first one, and then he thinks he's going to be the hot shit around town. But once he gets one, that could be scary. That could open up the floodgates of hell right there.
Yeah,
but
not
again,
excited.
Ty had an all-time legendary interview when he got out of the car.
Oh, yes.
Dropping statistics and numbers on the people in all order to diss this guy was so funny. And I'm so glad that the veil of PR nightmare Ty got lifted a little bit from when he did wreck Jones and he called himself Jesus. And then everybody he had his PR coaching, and it's lasted a while, and he's just been calm, cool, collected. He's like, yeah, I love it for the guys. Here's all my sponsors. But after this race, that veil was lifted. He goes, that dude and I have very similar amount of starts. I race on Sundays. You race on Saturdays. I could have gotten my 13th win, but I'm glad you got your second. Congratulations. Anybody who thinks he's cheering, he's like, yeah, good for you. No, it's one of these. He's just being like, yeah, congrats on your second win. Dick.
That was the best part, is that there were people on Twitter being like, wow, that was really cool of Ty to congratulate Sam. No, he wasn't.
No, he didn't.
That
How
was the
thick
most
are their
sarcastic
skulls? Like, good God.
congratulations that I've ever heard in my life. But it was great. It was what was needed for sure.
Oh my
That
God.
was that was a hell of an interview. But yeah, I mean, I'd give an interview like that too. If I had Ty Gibbs, I'd go beat the shit out of Sam Mayer. I just dominated this entire race, and just to have it getting taken away like that, like Sam Mayer wouldn't even been up there with Ty Gibbs had those cautions not come out because Ty was in a world of his own. So I definitely get the frustration here, and I love the savagery that came from it. So
Like,
as much as I dislike Ty Gibbs, that was awesome.
there's so many reasons for me to not like Ty Gibbs. Just his overly religious, pious answers to interview questions all the time, that he gets a sponsorship, the cocky attitude, the fact that he took my guy's cup ride, basically, because he was cheaper. And yet here I am sitting here trying to defend it. There's so many reasons I have to not like him, and yet there's just something about him that's intriguing to me, and I just keep an eye on him.
It's
And I don't
because
know if
you're a
that's because
Kyle Busch fan. That's why he's
I
a
don't know.
clone.
Yeah, well, is that because I've been a Kyle Busch fanboy for so long and had adopted all the JGR guys as my guy and whatnot? But like, I don't know what it is, because I should not like him, and not to say I like him any more or less because of this weekend, but I definitely have changed many opinions on Sam Mayer because of one bad thing he's done. So it's
Yeah,
just, it doesn't make sense. But again, that was by far the most interesting thing that happened this weekend for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, that's for sure. Because yeah, oof, the cup race that we talk about here was pretty much a
News
snoozer.
fest.
So Nick and I had it perfectly. We were just having beers in the pool, like semi watching it. We were like, "Yeah, this is a great race." I'm looking on
The
Twitter.
most
Oh, this race sucks.
the most interesting part of that day on Sunday was your dad trying to kill the horsefly. That was what the
Yeah.
most entertaining part of that day was, because that race sucked.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it right now.
Yeah, that race sucked. But your boy Denny Hamlin showed some road course speed and won the pole for this one.
3 road course poles. That's crazy.
Yeah, good for Denny.
That's crazy.
But a guy who we thought was really good on road courses had an early spin, Daniel Suarez. Not what he needed to start his day for fighting for a playoff spot, that's for sure.
No,
Yeah, that's tough to see, especially after the strong. He had himself a day last week at the Indy Road course, but yeah, this is not what we wanted to see out of Suarez, because now what we're going into Daytona, he's minus 28, I want to say, which is still not terrible. Like, he didn't
no.
really shoot himself in the foot with this one, but I think I'm sure we all expected more out of Daniel, given his success that he's had on the road courses before. But it's just been a down year. It's been such a down year for the 99 team after what they had last year. It's just been such a down year, and it really sucks to see.
That's where we shouldn't have expected him to do well at Watkins Glen, and that's because he did so well last week. It's like he'll pop in every 5 races or so and show off and show that he's still got the abilities to do it, but the team itself doesn't have the speed week in and week out. It's just these glimmers of hope, and who knows what they're going to show up with at Daytona, because at the 500 he was up at the front. He got spun off somebody's nose towards the end, which cost the 8 the win. Still not happy about that, but who knows what could happen. And again, without this 30-point rule, anybody wins this race is in the playoffs. This is wild. But no, definitely not the week that Suarez wanted to have. But am I surprised by? I'm not really surprised by this performance. I was like, there's no way this team is the 9 or the 99 or the 1 have not shown up week in and week out. Maybe the 1 was early in the season, but he hasn't. I haven't seen Ross since I guess Nashville.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
So who knows what this team brings next week? But like, that's honestly, at this point, I hope he doesn't make the playoffs, because he doesn't deserve to be in.
No, not really. He hasn't had that kind of
not
year.
This year.
A lot more guys will be deserving. Michael McDowell showing off that speed from last weekend at Indy and won stage 1 here at Watkins Glen. Good for that 34 car. He's already locked in. So this is exactly
playoff point will help him.
Yeah, exactly what he
Yeah.
needs if he wants a long long playoff run.
But I mean, I'm surprised he can still walk because he shot himself in the foot and then his team shot him in the other foot. So
Yeah. Yeah, right after that stage win, he got a pit penalty for going through too many boxes. I think he went through 5 boxes. But he
yeah, his
can't,
own box was the 5th.
yeah, can't
And
be doing that.
he didn't understand the rules because you heard it on the radio.
Right.
It was it's like, oh, the empty box counts as a box. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it's a
box.
Like, come on, man. Come on. And it's not I don't even think you can blame the backwards pit stops because they were pitting backwards at Indy last week. Yeah,
God.
those boxes were a lot longer.
But how long
But
has he
still.
been racing in NASCAR? He should know this by now.
No, he
God
should
damn.
know for sure. It's
He
just
is
a
a
stupid
veteran.
a mental error that cost him, and he had speed. He came right back up there.
Oh yeah,
He was ready to go.
Yep. Willie B won stage 2, but things did not work out well for his teammate in that 9 car. Chase Elliott ran out of fuel. Alan Gustafson with another L. Alan Gustafson is the clown of the week for that reading of the gas. My God.
I think they're both dumbass of the week. A, Alan Gustafson for that call, but B, for Chase for going through with it. Like, did he really think he was gonna make it that far? Like, yeah, Alan Gustafson has made some really bad calls before, but I'm putting this on both of them because Chase, he's the driver in the end. He could make the final call in the end, and he wanted to stick through this. He had to have known there was just no way that this is going to work, and sure enough, it didn't. And now Chase says this was one of his best chances to get that win because now he's got to go to Daytona where everybody else wants to win. He has to survive now at Daytona. But yeah, dumbass of the week to the entire 9 team for that stupid call.
All of Hendrick Motorsports. This is the biggest cup team in the series, and they don't know what their reserve switch can do.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. They have a team of engineers at the track going over the data and whatnot. Then back in North Carolina, they have a team of people in their war room at the shop. And you're telling me all those people are on those radios and they didn't hear, hey, you can go 3 laps on your reserve switch.
Yeah, no.
And nobody, not Chase, not anybody, not the engineers, not the pit crew, nobody's like, I don't think that's right. Because again, we have this chat. I feel like it's every other race. They talk about what this reserve switch does. And you're telling me you can go 3 laps at a road course on reserve fuel when usually any other track, it doesn't matter how big. Like, oh, flip your switch and come in the pit. Like, it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous that nobody is like,
And that's why I put this on Chase too, because how is he hearing this and being like, oh yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah,
so.
Chase is a veteran at this point. He's not a young gun. And for him to not know what his reserve switch, the only thing that I can understand is that Gustafson got something from engineers or whatnot, said you can go 3 miles maybe on the reserve and maybe not, and he may have heard that as 3 laps. So the go past me twice and then come in, I think that's on Gustafson.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he misconstrued some data or whatnot, but somebody had to be like, that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it's Chase's fault for not knowing how his car's built. Like, these guys, you got to know. And everybody else in the war room can share the blame. I don't think that this is something that Gustafson should be out about. Like, everybody's calling for Gustafson's head. This is anytime to go stick and ball sports here, it's a franchise winning football team, and the head coach makes a dumb decision, everybody's calling for his head. Like, no, you make dumb decisions and whatnot, but like, it's a whole game, it's a team sport. You can't blame the coach for bad quarterback play. You can't blame the coach for bad defense.
I mean, look at the 9 team in 2020 with the Coca-Cola 600 when they decided to pit and everyone didn't, and Brad ended up winning. What did they do that next race? Chase Elliott and that 9 team ended up winning it. So I think, yeah, maybe they could learn from it.
Mhm.
They're a smart team. They're a part of Hendrick Motorsports. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes, but too little, too late. We're going to
Yeah.
Daytona, where
Where literally
pretty
every
much,
other car wants to win because
yeah,
everybody wants to get themselves locked into the playoffs. So good fucking luck, buddy.
yeah,
And
anybody has a chance.
there's still people points racing, so this is
Yeah.
not going to be calm at all. And I'm going to be kicking myself because I can't even watch it live. So
Oh
nobody
man,
spoil it for me.
damn.
I
Yeah,
will. As soon as I get out of that studio, though, I'm racing home and going to watch it
yeah, I
as soon as I
bet.
can because
As
it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a hot day. Racetrack's gonna be slick, like, and it's nuts. All the scenarios and the fact that anybody has a chance to get to the playoffs,
Yep.
and
That's
there's gonna be
why
hurt feelings and bench sheet metal.
that's why I like Daytona as the regular season finale, but I also don't because it doesn't feel like 4th of July without racing in Daytona. So I don't know. They got to figure
Mhm.
something out. Maybe give us 3 dates at Daytona. I wouldn't mind
Oh man.
that.
Every team owner's like, nope, don't need
We
that.
Nope.
don't
Do
need
not need.
we don't need any more super speedways. We had enough before Atlanta.
Yeah, that's for sure. But guys,
Oh,
William Byron wins the race, put on an absolute ass whooping, but there was one problem with this one. There was just no passing. There was no tire wear. From what I've heard, the 14 car of Chase Briscoe did not take off their left rear at all. They went the entire race with
oh,
their left rear. That's how much tire wear was happening at Watkins Glen.
just the
I
left
mean,
rear.
yeah, they only, yeah. I was watching a clip from DBC and they were talking about like what the issues were with Watkins Glen, and they heard that the left rear was not taken off at all during the entire
What's the
race.
what's the point?
It wasn't
Like
wearing.
if you're
Why
already gonna change,
why
if you're gonna
change
change
the
the
left
left
front?
front, why? Yeah.
I
But
don't know.
no, the problem with this car is the tire. And that's what all the driver have been saying anyway. There's no fall off because the tire's too good.
Yep.
And also and when the tire's too good, then they don't change the braking zone, so you don't get mistakes. You can't pass. And I think the brakes are too big on this car. The tires are too wide, the tires are too good. They don't fall off. And it's not road course racing in the Cup Series. You like to watch those old Cup cars race around the road course because they weren't built for it. So
Right.
those guys had to use some serious skills. You get those big, heavy, lumbering stock cars around those tight corners of a road course, and it's not the same with this car because it's built for it. These are sports cars that
That's
were
just
designed for this type of thing.
it's disappointing because I was looking forward to this. I don't know. It's been the short tracks and it's been the road courses all year. I agree. It goes down. Yeah, we could change the package, but we need to change the tire. We need a softer tire. We need a tire that's gonna produce fall off because otherwise we're gonna see what we've seen all year on these short tracks and these road courses. Some garbage racing. Literally, I set my fantasy lineup and I just scrolled and looked at who was the top five, and I kept them in because they're not going to get past unless they make a mistake of their own. They're not going to get past because you cannot pass
No.
here, and that is what we saw on Sunday. Just really, really sucked to see because we were on a roll of some really good races, really since like NBC took over. This one just really sucked. And
I don't think this race was terrible. I think it's saving grace that it wasn't drawn out with cautions and whatnot. So like, yeah, it was over soon, which was nice. It was the shortest race in the modern era history. It was under 2 hours, which again, we're not used to, but that's because we didn't watch them do a bunch of pace laps for stage breaks.
Mhm.
And stage breaks wouldn't have fixed this race.
Oh,
It
no
wouldn't.
way.
nothing would have.
No,
Nothing
it's
would've.
just it's
No, we would just be having them like sending it into the first turn, and yeah, we'd have some wrecks. There you go. There's your quote unquote excitement for the race. But
but nobody's making mistakes, and
no,
it's again they gotta, especially at the short tracks, give them as much horsepower as those engines can handle,
yeah.
because I want that thing to be hard to drive. I want them to have to back it up into the corners.
All right, guys. Well, that will about wrap it up for our Watkins Glen review. Boys, got anything else to add before we end the show here?
The Austin Dillon Clown
Oh,
Show.
Yep.
The
Oh,
Austin
no.
Dillon Clown Show that was the end of the race. Kyle Larson again. I guess Kyle Larson, when he gets behind the 8-ball, he just he goes a little nuts. According to Denny, Denny on his podcast said anytime he's gone back with a penalty with Larson, that Larson is driving around with a madman or like a madman, and that he's just trying to get spots that he deserves and whatnot. And I guess that caused the whole shindig with Larson and Dillon. And it's just Austin Dillon is having a rough year.
I think this is a sign for him to hang the helmet up and go work on your reality
because
shows.
by some fluke he's gonna win this Daytona race again, and all of NASCAR fans are gonna hate their lives.
It's gonna have to rain. We're gonna have to get rain on the racetrack for that one to happen again.
God's gonna open the sky up and everyone's gonna crash, and here comes Austin Dillon out of nowhere, the only one that survives.
I will say though that all eyes set to Daytona here. We got one spot that's left up for grabs because Kozlowski and Harvick both locked in. One spot at Daytona under the lights on Saturday night. Hopefully the rain, hopefully whatever weather down there is going to stay away, because this is just going to put on one hell of a show. Always does.
Saying the forecasts are clear. So
that's good.
But who knows? Again,
fingers
stuff
crossed.
could pop up in Florida.
Yeah,
whenever
it's Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
Fingers crossed, but yeah.
Yep, that's for sure, boys.
It'll be fun.
Yep. Well, guys, thanks for tuning into our show. Make sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and comment down below what you thought of the Watkins Glen race and what NASCAR can do to change the racing and make it better. And you guys can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. So that'll do it for us. I'm Ian Jordan.
I'm Nick Kinsel.
I'm Tom Hovland.
And we'll see you guys next time.